jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
fucking slow for you, alright? You get a chance, counter that fucking jab over the fucking top. Sometimes turn that jab into a hook, alright? You don't have nothing left. You keep me to stay on the inside, catch and counter.
Wish I could be the guy to fight Canelo. Canelo, come to 158. I can easily make 158. And I'll put a boxing lesson on him just as great as Floyd Mayweather did, the great, you know. I mean, he fighting again. Shit. When the fuck is he fighting again? Like, who the fuck he fought last? Like, I don't even know nothing about the kid. Don't ask me about Crawford, because that motherfucker ain't in my division. Like, we talking about a 147 pounder that was a 140 pounder, and we need to.
Is now, biatch. He's in your division now, goddammit. No more talking. No more walking. He's in your division now. You talked about at one point in time that he got business to handle at 147. He got business to handle, you know, in the rematch. Why he want to come up here? Why he fought? You fight that tall, lanky. Everything you talked about, Jermell Charlo, is here. He's about to fight the tall, lanky one after they finish negotiation. It's about to happen because you didn't want to do it. Buzz about to do it now. So all that bitching, moaning, and queefing that you was doing, blowing hot air, you know, far not that quee. You know what I'm saying? It's about to happen. He's in your division. You're supposed to be the champion in recess. If you think you're the man to stop him now, then do it. But this is what I suggest to you first. Just what I would suggest to you. Word is that, Jermell Charlo, that we have these devices called mobile phones. And therefore, mobile phones, they're able to communicate via satellite towers. Okay? And therefore, you know, me playing this audio, it makes me, it takes me to a point where I'm saying, why don't you call up Errol Spence and ask him, is it okay for you and him to fight? Since he is unfit to face the man, the myth, the legend, the one that you said Bud Crawford had business to take care of and all that. Why don't you and him fight now? Or better yet, why don't you get on your mobile phone? Once Crawford pick up these belts August 3rd, shouldn't you be next? Wasn't you the one who came up? Oh, that's why they call you Jermell Hennessy Charlo. You unfit too. God damn. Y'all niggas over there all unfit for freaking duty. See what happened when you start the race too motherfucking fast and get complacent? See what happened? You a champion in recess, aren't you? Yeah, you get the hot grease too, Jamel Charlo, because you was up here talking that noise too. It ain't just Spence. You unfit for duty too. How can Bud be doing set for negotiations in August for Fundora, and you came out trying to put up those estrogen blockers and talk about, oh no, no, you was being a good old boy. You was doing what Daddy Al told you to do. But I'm saying to myself, this is the opportune time for you to reinsert yourself. Let me introduce myself. Let me reintroduce myself. This is time for you, Jamel Hennessy Charlo, to put the bottle down and come back and fight either Spence, to basically deem that you're necessary, that you're fit for duty. Fight Spence. You know, two winos. Let's get two winos together. You know the winos have the best fights now. Get both of y'all together, and then the winner potentially can fight Terrence Bud Crawford after he go in there and fight Fundora. Because the last time I checked, you were supposed to be the champion in recess, and your name didn't pop up, but Bud's name popped up as potentially negotiating. Let me read the news article that came up for those of you that may be a little bit upset and angry with yourselves for supporting Errol Spence to begin with. I get it. You made the wrong fucking choice, and you haven't been able to kick that drug habit since last year. I get it. I get it. Things of a feather smoke together. I get it. What does it say right here? What does it say? It says, we regret to report that the long-awaited match between unified champion Sebastian Fundora and Errol Spence Jr. has been canceled. Sources indicate Errol Spence Jr. is not in optimal condition. Let me rephrase that, because that word optimal. Sources indicate Errol Spence Jr. is not in optimal condition to combat and does not yet have an in-house coach. It goes further. Exclusive to Urban Boxing Network, promoter Samson Lekowicz. Boy, I tried to read this mother is all the way through, and I seen Samson name. Wasn't this the same Samson who said Crawford no likable style? You was the same hating ass nigga that said that, right, Samson? You was the same hating ass nigga that said that, right? Crawford no likable style. We want to fight. We want to fight Crawford. We want. He was hating, and now look at you. Boy, y'all better leave that freaking island over there real quick, because y'all got some goddamn juju on your ass. Y'all have some juju over there. Everything fell apart. Everything fell apart. Just like you was playing dominoes and somebody goddamn called it. Dominoes. How are all y'all falling apart and crumbling like this, bro? What the hell is going on? It said promoter Samson Lekowicz confirmed to us that on August 5th, negotiations will begin with Terrence Crawford, provided he emerges victorious from the fight on August 3rd. This could be the first step towards a worldwide unification match, WBC, WBO, WBA in December. Haters gonna hate. But the real ones, it's going to take more than that. It's going to take more for the real ones to be halted in place. And if they're great, they're great. You know what I'm saying? It's going to take more than just this hate that Samson Lekowicz was, had going on. But let's get to the real concern at hand, y'all. why isn't Errol Spence Jr. ready to face Sebastian Fundora? Then, of all the hate that was over there coming from Samson Lickowitz, you're trying to tell me that you couldn't find this man a trainer? Let me take it on farther back, because this has been on my mind for a long time. Because I was absolutely on point with it. I was on point with it. See, I said something. I really meant it. I really meant this. When people are not good people in general, and then they have people that following those people who are good people, it becomes all bad. You know what I'm saying? It's worse than sheep. It's worse than sheep, a flock of sheep. It's really worse than that. And that's what we had a chance to witness in this boxing era when it came to the aerosexuals. Peep this out. When I mention IL, right? This is the ILTBA, right? This is the culminating moment that proves that what you were relieved of back then came to fruition. The only thing about why people looked at it as being bad, you know, the little possums that was around you, the snakes, the only reason, brother, that you shouldn't feel bad about the situation, because you predicted something without even knowing that you was predicting it. You prognosticated the whole entire revelation of Errol Spence and his team crumbling. The way Derrick James treated his own people, and your thought process to say, well, I would definitely like to see what happened if Errol Spence lose so he can fire Derrick James. What happened? Did I not tell you all after the fight that even before the fight, when he lose, Derrick James ain't gonna be in the fight? But LTBA said this a while ago. This is a part of the present. This is a part of the present. It just didn't sound good back then because the man was undefeated. It just didn't sound good back then because he was undefeated. He wasn't looking for the downfall of Errol Spence. It's just the fact when you look at the freaking landscape of the YTC and the boxing media, right? No other, regardless of where they were, no other content creator was that close to a fighter of that stature, right? So you take the stature of Errol Spence and what he had going on, being undefeated and everything, and you know how the general public loved him, but internal, what they say about black people will bring everything crumbling freaking down. And I remember people criticizing it, saying, you know, Al did this, but really what he did was pretty much a genius prognostication, because Derrick James was such an asshole that when this came about for him losing, everything played out the way our TBA said it did. I wish he'd get rid of that coach. Look, the crazy part about it is that Derrick James believed that he had an ironclad type of setup going on in his gym where he can just invite everybody over to the gym and kick all the other black people and black media out, keep them outside. It still didn't work for you, bro. Everything you was doing, and you thought you had some freaking ironclad security parameters set up to protect? No, you couldn't protect anything because you wasn't doing enough to make sure Errol Spence remained on top. That's what happened when you think about the now. Okay? You think about the present all the time. He wanted to see Spence lose to get your punk ass out of there. And guess what? After he lost, everything crumbled. Come to find out, he wasn't even paying you. All this revelation comes about from the Spence camp is 100% reality. It's 100% a spiritual reality, yo. He was up here talking about, oh, I don't have freaking chairs in my gym so he can get comfortable. This is a selfish individual. Look at where all this selfishness got him. It crumbled to the ground. This is worse than goddamn 9/11 when it comes to a scenario-based boxing. His joint came crumbling down, yo, off one victory. This man, look, it's nobody around there with this so-called one of the 2 times trainer of the year. It's nobody that Errol Spence knew. It's no freaking resources or liaison logistics that Spence had in his freaking phone to get him a trainer. You trying to tell me there's nobody around there to help these Texas fighters out? Nobody around here. It came crumbling fucking down, bro. It's still on the ground. Dust. I know a lot of people don't look at it and don't feel like that's a reason why I'm mentioning this, but I still think back to that day where, you know, when it comes to the media side of the house, it was only one person that was really that close to Spence. You know what I'm saying? It was to that close with Spence, defending him life and limb. You know, and the crazy part about it, I.O. defended Errol Spence life and limb more than Derrick James did. But now looking back, Blu-ray out the picture, out the picture. It came crumbling down hard. It forced damn near Errol Spence into retirement, and it forces Derrick James into retirement. This has been a long time coming. It's not that people was wishing bad on him. It's just when you're not a good person and you're an asshole, you know, sometimes situations like this happen. I told y'all the first time I ever met Derrick James was at a Top Rank card. A Top Rank card. And this nigga was an asshole towards me based off knowing other people, Michael Williams, them, I didn't even know. I didn't know they trained. I didn't know none of that shit. That nigga took it out on me. Asshole type shit. I'm like, how can you take something out on me? I don't even know the connection. I didn't have anything to stop the flow with you and Spence. None of that shit. None of it, bro. The first time I ever seen this man in life, I don't want no interview. You think I'm going to ask you for an interview while the fights are going on and people talking? I didn't come up here to ask you for an interview. I did not come up to ask that man for an interview. So you just think about all the people that he was trying to fuck over with his attitude and treat like they was inferior. Look at him now. He don't have no secondary recourse of action based off that shit he did. He literally tore down he took the roof off, first of all, by extracting media from Errol Spence. The media's never been the same since LTBA was out, right? Blu-ray had that man in tip-top condition, but now he's not fit for optimal. He's not in optimal physical conditioning now, y'all. But when Blu-ray was there, it was. You took what could have been potentially a dynasty of a team, and you take the head, really the tip of the freaking head, and all it took for him to start saying, no, I got my building. Here's my furniture store, not your furniture store. Your name ain't on the paperwork. My name on the paperwork. And I'm kicking people out. Nope, they ain't coming back over here. Look what happened. He had minimal success after tearing down an entire team that was absolutely benefiting Errol Spence. Absolutely benefiting this guy. This man has never been prepared for the likes of Bud Crawford because the head, his trainer, the head contributed to the demise, and also Spence, along with his fan base, absolutely drew the hammer to the nail. You know why? Because Spence know damn well what was expected of him over there in Texas. He knew. He had Jerry Jones behind him. He has so much going on for him. But you know what Spence fucked up? He should have went off his instinct when his pops took him up there to Derrick James and he didn't want to be around the dude. He should have stood up for himself and said, nah, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. See, when you treat people like shit and just think, oh, let me just, be in here. I don't want nobody to know nothing. You didn't know everything. You didn't want nobody else putting eyes on Spence and look at you. Look at your team, man. You got a court case pending or whatever. You don't have no fighters in your charge, under your charge no more. Look at this. I'm not going to do like the Christians do and point the finger and say, look how God worked. God don't have nothing to do with this. It's straight up the devil. God ain't got shit to do with this. This is straight up the devil right here. This is the devil. It ain't got nothing to do with God. You had an entire team in place to be legendary in freaking Texas. And you got rid of everybody. Not only did you get rid of everybody, but if you're going to clear out the motherfucking room, at least know how you want it decorated once you start to set everything up. Once you start to set everything up, at least know what decorum that you want. Removing the chairs out the room is not going to have take you to a path of longevity. You never had a fucking plan. If it wasn't broke, you ain't going to fix it. So you got rid of everybody to say, oh, I just wanted everything to myself. You didn't make no changes to that man come July 29th. You made no changes to Errol Spence. He went in there and got destroyed. Why would you kick everybody out the gym if you didn't have a plan? Maybe you had people there to bounce ideas off of, then you might have been good. It would take more than a comedian to tell a joke and make you laugh and say, you know what, we some fucked up individuals because we damn near on the brink of goddamn crumbling. You know what I'm saying, DJ? I'm glad you didn't get rid of me, though. I love Spence punching on me. I love that shit. Why would you get rid of a team and not freaking put your minds together for the longevity? And for Spence, just maybe if he respected at least one person, just one person, if he saw the results and he continued to see the results and he felt comfortable, he said, damn, this is productive. Maybe he would have fought against your better wishes. But since you couldn't wait to get your own facility and you got it, and you basically reduced the roster, and thought that bringing all these sparring partners into Texas was the format you needed. And then for Spence not to step up to the plate and say, hey, maybe I need to start thinking outside the box because I'm not going to be with Diddy James forever. Now look at him. He hasn't been able to find a freaking gym. You know why? Because there's probably some trainers out there, a lot of them, that's looking how this whole thing came to fruition. And they saying to themselves, is he going to pay me? I'm going to have to put him on papers. It hits the public that y'all went off a verbal agreement. This is somebody who supposedly knew everything. Fired the whole fucking team, right? But he supposedly knew everything, though. And you was on a verbal agreement with this fighter? What were y'all thinking? You was on a verbal freaking agreement with this fighter and you still weren't getting paid, but yet you was telling us that you had everything figured out. Everything figured out. You got rid of all the originals that potentially could have kept the team together. You know, Blu-ray could have kept freaking Spence in shape. But you wanted to just get rid of everybody that was, just think about what was working back then. Everything was working, bro. Y'all on top of the motherfucking boxing world. Everything was working. But yet, you got rid of people. You thought once Spence started bucking the system, you thought it would be okay. He'll still be able to go in there and do the same thing and walk through Crawford. Why? Because you didn't take Crawford serious yourself as a trainer in a full contact sport, which you yourself has a box rec. Okay, you have a box rec online. You should have dove a little deeper into reading the Art of War and all these other books and the science of combat. And it would have told you never underestimate any opponent that you have. And with Derrick James, he just basically went off every strength that he believed Spence had and didn't even try to improve that man. He couldn't stop him from staying outside in the streets. All them training sessions that he missed, he couldn't stop it. He literally had no freaking control over Spence unless it was inside them ropes, inside the gym. That's it. This is embarrassment. This is one of the worst situations of a documentary that goes along with a team in boxing. A champion, I'm talking about a champion as popular as Errol Spence. This is one of the worst stories that you would ever hear about of this era, from the start to finish, on the rise and fall of a team. Real talk, there's plenty of stories out there about these boxers coming out the Olympics and they supposed to train with this and they end up ditching their freaking trainer that they've been with since they were 7 years old to go. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the inception of Errol Spence pops, bringing him to the gym, bringing him to Diddy James. He said he didn't want to be there. And it took him 2 years. 2 years gapped for not communication. Right there, you should have went off your spirit. If you was telling yourself you didn't want this dude to train, you should have went off that spirit. And then I like how you have, you know what I'm saying, the followers. You know what I'm saying? I like how you have the crickets just over there in the weeds, rubbing their legs together, making that noise and shit, believing they're important. Oh, man, look at it, man. Look at it, man. Don't worry about it. Look how far they went. They will tell you how far Errol Spence went, but they won't tell you where he at now. They had no plan. Everybody was just riding along, bro. It was the ultimate ride along. What's the purpose of having somebody ride along with you for years and years, and you all understand that you're in this for the business and you're not trying to grow within the business? What's the purpose of having them around unless you just want to keep them there because they're good company and conversation? But when you're talking about one of the top fighters in the world, how could you crash? How can you crash out so bad? How can you go into a fight last year and allow a fighter that you and your coach felt the same about, that he has not fought anybody that could beat you on his resume? So therefore, if his opposition stated or depicted that they wasn't qualified to be competitive, to challenge you and defeat you through the eyes of that dang weak fan base, well, then you turn around and say to yourself, it's no way that he can beat me. Not understanding that you didn't do enough study. You didn't go to the classroom and sit the desk and listen. You didn't come up with plans. You didn't study your opponent. And the greatest part about this entire story is it doesn't end on the side of the World Class Furniture Store. It ends on the side of Omaha, Nebraska. That's the fucked up part about it. That fight right there, I know people was up here saying that, oh man, you just being a hater. Look, well, does it sound good to you now? He's not fighting Sebastian Fundora. Wasn't y'all the same one up here? Y'all was in love seeing Spence jump up there in the ring. And goddamn Crawford said he looked like a linebacker. Y'all was up here happy. He blocks Crawford. Man, y'all niggas was acting so goofy. I wanted to call up Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers, you got your sweater? Yes, come read these fools a story. Come on, Mr. Rogers. Read these fools a story. They need something to take away. You know, they must be bored. Spence just hops in the ring and they up here mentioning Crawford's name. What was I trying to explain to you all about him waiting out until Ennis got his belt? And then came out of nowhere talking about an eye surgery. Oh my God, bro. I don't wish I don't wish someone's fall for grace at all. I'm just on the outside giving you my assessment. That's it. You don't have to believe my narratives and what I'm talking about, my banter. You don't have to take it for scripture. But we seen this shit happening leading up to July 29th. We seen it, bro. All the damn vitriol, all the vitriol that was spewed on this social media leading up to that one fight. And it seems like them same people that was all about defending Errol Spence have all but dissipated. Vanished. Gone. You trying to tell me out of all the aerosexuals you couldn't get him a trainer? You couldn't have gotten him a freaking trainer? It's nobody that you all could have called to get this man in the gym to be optimal? It's no way that you could have found someone to get him back to optimal. Because what does WCS tell you? If the fight is outside of Texas, it's going to be problems. And then we found out that Crawford was no way shape going to take that fight in Texas. So when he came out, it looked bad for him. And the other time he was in Texas, shredded. Yadinas Ugas fight, shredded. On weight. Came up out of Texas. They started talking about the man was weight drained. Went from one heat wave to the next. How did the fan blow that breeze? I don't know. That shit must have been torturous, huh? You put a fan in the window and it's goddamn 100-some degrees outside. Ain't nobody cooling down. But Spence, when the aerosexuals came out of the freaking burrows, they was up here laughing, joking, and talking about, here we go again. Yeah, we back. I heard you over there, Dookie. I heard Dookie over there. Yeah, Errol Spence back. Where you at, Dookie? Dookie, Duke. What you gonna do? What you gonna do about it now? Please. I want you to explain to me what you're gonna do now, because this is your boy. All the channels that's out here, why did they crash and burn like this, man? Why couldn't you all, of all people, get this man back in the gym to be in optimal shape to face Sebastian Fundora to potentially set up a fight between him and Crawford? I'm not even disappointed because I didn't expect shit from y'all. I didn't expect you all to do anything except hang around. That's all you did the entire time. Hang around. You couldn't find this man another trainer? All y'all had his number, right? Didn't we hear that? Oh, I got D James' number. I'm gonna call Derek James up. They was throwing that shit around. Well, my sources tell me last year that the announcement's gonna be July 4th. Oh man, take that back. The announcement is gonna be this. Oh, take that back. That's no. The fight's gonna be in October. Oh, take that back. It's gonna be in November. Oh, take that. Shit. He gonna fight in December on Frank Munn. Oh, take that back. Where are all you people who had the numbers of Errol Spence? Why couldn't you all get this man into a gym? Why couldn't you call up other coaches to see if they were a right fit and then suggested? Isn't that what networking is all about? Making phone calls, trying to find out, hey, how can I make this work? This is my guy right here. Let's see, can we kind of get together and come up with an idea of a coach? Are all these coaches in the country? You couldn't convince Spence to lock in? This man said probably November, January. Y'all, it's July. You trying to tell me Errol Spence, and look, August, September, October, November. 4 times 4 is 16, ain't it? You trying to tell me you can't knock that weight off in 16 weeks? And the fight was going to be in Texas? 16 weeks? "16 weeks? You all couldn't get this man locked in with a trainer? 16 weeks he could not get in optimal condition. He and me had one fight at 154, and I told you all it wasn't gonna make a difference at 154. What did I say? He should come back in at 160 because 154 is still ain't enough. You know what I'm saying? He's too heavy for 154. It's too heavy. He's not disciplined enough for 154. Now he's out of a fight. He's out of a fight, though. He's out of a fight. He's out of a fight, man. Checkmate. Checkmate. Word has it Crawford is going to be negotiating with Sebastian Fundora. The no likable style. The no likable style is going to be negotiating in August for Sebastian Fundora. They say if he emerges victorious, or should we say when he emerges, the no likable style is now what? He never was out of the pilot position. It's just you have to let these people hope and guess and dream. Samson couldn't get on the phone with Spence and say, "Hey man, we really want to give you the fight, man. We want to make some money with you. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on." Samson, who hated on Crawford and went around on this freaking tour talking about Crawford no likable style, you couldn't get Errol Spence to get back in the gym and get a trainer. Errol Spence's entire system of what we consist of, the machine and the human beings that were supposed to help his ass out, they failed him. People may not want to listen to this shit. They failed him. They failed him big time. That's why they won't stay in the building. That's why they won't stay in the building and listen. Because everyone, the entire machine and every human being that was supposed to be his support, and talking about I rock with Errol Spence heavy and came up with all these details as to why Spence was going to do this and that to Crawford, they have been out of sight. They have been UA. They have been MIA. Where are you all out now? Don't you understand that you had an opportunity to redeem yourself for part 2? All y'all had to do was come together and try to make this work. But like I was saying, y'all the worst fan base ever. You got a fighter that doesn't want to be disciplined in no way, shape, or form. He say he's been bucking the system his whole life, living out of pocket rather. So his living out of pocket, people up here now using the excuse. You know what they saying now, y'all? Oh man, he don't have to come back. He earned plenty of money. What? I tell you this. He ain't earning that money Crawford about to earn in these next 3 fights. He ain't earned that type of money. He hasn't earned that type of money. What can it be, y'all, when you know Turkey Al-Sheikh is the new financier in town? What stops you from saying, I need to get in the gym, man? I need to rededicate myself. It don't matter who sees me, man. I need to. If it's going down to Bodyhead Island, go to Bodyhead Island. Lock in. Roy would have got him back in shape. But no, these sorry ass piss drinking fans of his sitting up here talking about, oh man, Roy the one that was criticizing. Y'all not in the best interest of Errol. Because you'll be trying to get him into a place where he can lock in like Charlo. We need Errol Spence to lock in like Jamal Charlo did for that instance. clear head, clear sense of thinking to get himself into the shape to step in the ring. I don't care how you thought about the performance. He was able to go down there for a period and lock in. Spence, he ain't willing to go nowhere and lock in, bro. He ain't willing to do it. He's not willing to do it. Let me get to this chat right quick. He ain't willing to do it. Hey, shout out to Mr. Gumbo, a.k.a. Hot Grease. $5 super chat lighting up the tree of life for WCS. I appreciate you, Gumbo, in the building. Crawford beat Shrek and Donkey into breaking up friendships and LTBA into a profit. Man, for real. You know, they couldn't quite understand the prognostication, man. But him losing destroyed the team. Was it an epiphany? Him losing was exactly what brought out the reality, the truth. Bring the truth to the light. That one loss, Spence has one loss. And look how he's goddamn still burning. They still are broken into pieces. Off one loss now. That's how bad. You're talking about years ago. Years ago. When you treat people like shit and you think they ain't shit, then they turn around to be smarter than you. They turn out to be smarter than you. Oh, man. You know, he don't like how he said, let me go tell DJ. It's people that man. Look, everybody ain't meant to show up to a barn fire, man, with a marshmallow on the end of their stick, man. Some of them motherfuckers get too close to the heat, they start to melt just like the goddamn marshmallow. You can't have them soft ass niggas around you. Look what you did, disloyal. You're part of this demise too. This story right here is just incredible. Because there was one person that actually said, hey, I would just like to see him with somebody else besides this nigga. I hope he I hope he lose, just fire the motherfucker. Because he's an asshole. And what happened? He lost. He fired him. It's a money issue going on. He can't find another trainer. It gets messy. All the time people thought it was all cool, A-square. No, it's been fucked up for a minute. And then he had like, I ain't worried about him. I'm going over to AJ. He got beat up. I'm going over here to AJ, man. I'm gonna see what's over there in the UK. I got to get your flight. That's fucked up, bro. Stick 'em boys. What's good? Mike on deck. I'm just scanning through these, but shout out to Gumbo, man, a.k.a. Hot Grease with the $5 super chat. I appreciate you, big dog. Sansa was talking crazy about Bud, crazy how the tables turn. Yes, man, tell him, bro. Tell him, man, he was talking crazy, just like Diddy James at the presser. Well, what do you think about his knockout streak? What knockout streak? The one that's on his box rate. Who cares about that? Well, name your name. Well, starting from Jeff Horn. Who's Jeff Horn? Who did he beat? Jose Benavidez. Oh, he had one leg. Amir Khan. He been asleep before. Amir Khan dropped him. Who he ain't beat nobody. I mean, it was so quick. His reaction with negativity was so quick to basically reduce any freaking praise that Crawford should have had as a fighter. I mean, it was terrible. It was terrible. Unfortunately, we don't have that switch where we can read people's mind, because a lot of people won't bring it up. But this whole entire revelation was prophesized back then. It was just prophesized in the wrong era, in the wrong moment. The moment was all wrong because it was certain people that was too blind to actually see it They couldn't see it. Their mind wasn't locked in. You know, the windage wasn't there. They couldn't dial in and calibrate it. They couldn't do all that. All they was doing, they was along for the ride. But when people get the big head and they try to trash on people, they take people for granted, and that first loss come, and everything that person prophesied back in the day was revealed in the worst way. In the worst way. And then, you know, I'm not trying to mention any content creators' names, but they was coming over here lying, talking about, yeah, Spence still working with Diddy James. It's gonna be okay, this, that, and the other. Don't believe these other content. No, don't believe you. Don't believe you. That's the whole point. Sounds like Errol not paying Diddy James might be true. No coach wants to work with him. Hey man, that's what it seems like. Just think about that. Just think about that. See, if they would have split back then, it wouldn't have been as bad. You know what I'm saying? Because that would have been before the big fights. It would have definitely been before July 29th. And potentially, it could have been a more competitive fight if he was with a different coach. But when you lock down the fighter and you want to bring everybody over to the gym and spray paint the windows and turn it into freaking the furniture store Alcatraz and have freaking Tibetan Mastiffs roaming the lot, wild pumas and freaking ligers, full-blown bull elephants roaming the lot. Oh man, don't worry about them. They didn't train, man. I got them from Africa. They ain't gonna bother nobody, man. They ain't gonna bother nobody. What about the Cobras that's out there? Oh man, they ain't gonna bother nobody. They just gonna hang out the door, man. I already get showed in the picture. You know, the sparring partners are supposed to be in them Cobras, man. Have they been defanged? No, man, ain't got nothing to do with that defanging, man. Them things, portions they get. But whoever's walking up here, they supposed to call me first. If they get bit, that's on them. I told them, call me first, and I'll tell them the special route to go. I'll pop the hatch up, and they can come in through the back hatch. You go in through them side doors, you're getting lit up. I got them Cobras there, them black, them Mambas for a reason. Them Taipans, yeah, for a reason. Man, come on, bro. You locked that shit down like Alcatraz. And the problem was inside the unit. The shit was inside the unit, y'all. Shout out to Carlos on deck. Al told Spence, I got you on the back end again. Oh my God, this is terrible. This is terrible. I'm gonna definitely wait because it's gonna come a time when I'm gonna write an article on this shit. I'm gonna write an article based off the information I know. It might not be detail for detail, but I'm gonna go through and put some dang titles. I'm gonna retrieve that information. I'm definitely going to speak on this as a later date because this is unbelievable. This dude will now be outside of a year again, okay? Because July 29th is back on deck in several days, and he's not going to be fighting this year. So he would pretty much be the Keith Thurman. Errol Spence has now become the Keith Thurman 2.0. Seriously. You think he's going to hit the ring, and he's not. Bad. Samson tried to say Fundora wouldn't fight Bud because he had a boring style. Now they got to negotiate on A5. I know Samson looking for a way out right now. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No likable style. That's what you're saying. How dare you? How dare he? How dare he go up there and say some nonsense like that? For real, how dare they go around and try to convince people that Bud had a no likable style? It's just crazy, y'all. Crazy. He had a no likable style.
Terrence Crawford is the best fighter in the world. I would like to fight him.
Thank you. Gail Falkenthal, NY Fights.
Terrence Crawford is the best fighter in the world. I would like to fight him.
Well, hey, somebody go find this trainer that had that goofy ass look on his face. Sebastian, I'm gonna get a whooping. Sebastian said he's the best fighter, but his trainer was like, "No, Al told us no." Now you can do it the right way, buddy. Now you can do it the right way. Now you can train Sebastian Fundora for the no likable style. You better hope you make Samson happy. Charlo pop back up and take the Fundora fight. I don't think that's gonna go down like that, because when at the end of the day they need to make the most money possible. And Sebastian Fundora, being the current reigning champion, knows he's not gonna make that type of ticket with Charlo than he would with Bud. Bud is hot. Hot news again. Bud is hot news again, man. You can go back to when I say the hottest topic on the YTC, heaviest head who wear the crown. Hey, man, right now he's checkmate. He's checkmate the freaking boxing scene right now, because he beat the guy who they say he wasn't going to beat. He was locked into a contract. He wasn't responsible for Errol Spence pulling out. It didn't have nothing to do with Errol Spence being weight drained for him not taking a rematch. He had to go up there and say he had cataract surgery. And then they jump on the bandwagon and say, we honor you there, Mr. Spence, because you told us you're not going to make excuses about anything. We honor you. And what'd he do? Oh, I had cataracts before that fight. I had cataracts like 3 years ago. And how do you think he was hitting me with all those jabs and hooks? I couldn't see nothing. Oh, my God. That is. Now you got to ask yourself, was he sober when he made that statement? I growing up, and they say, I don't make excuses. Give me another shot. God dang, that's some good shit. Give me a shot. Give me a motherfucking shot. Yes, sir. 5 days before the anniversary is here, I've already completed my thumbnail. I just haven't pushed send for the release. But the 1 year anniversary is here. Heavy is the head as we remember July 29th and what it has done. Look, the profound effect that it has had up to this point. There's still residual effects that's going on, as we just found out that Spence is not in optimal. He hasn't been able to find a trainer. How is that possible? Of all of these channels that call themselves Errol Spence fanatics, why haven't y'all been able to find this man a freaking trainer? Why haven't y'all been able to motivate him to get back in the gym? Yes, sir. The rebirth of the fish fry, 5 days out. 5 days out, man. KING on deck, man. What it do? Conquest on deck. And this is one of the most unbelievable rise and fall stories in boxing of this era. Is no other story that can be talked about of a trainer. I mean, it has all the fine pieces. The trainer being 2-time trainer of the year, 2 unified champions in his stable, to absolutely 0. Talking about retirement right now, all because of one fighter. A fighter who a person prophesied years ago that this moment should have happened because of this person it couldn't be prevented. It just couldn't be prevented. Maybe Errol Spence wouldn't be in the position he would if the prophets if that person prophesied and it came to fruition. What would have happened if Spence would have lost back then? Would he have had the same, thought process? Say, okay, let me get rid of him now because, why should I lose right now? I haven't even fought, I haven't even completed my declaration of being undisputed and I already lost. This person's not good. What if he would have got with another trainer and locked in and the fight was more competitive than what it was? But to see something play out specifically years later and it implodes and then it leaks out to the general public that everything wasn't cool, all along it wasn't cool. All along this wasn't cool. That's what happened when you have ES running around just asking crazy questions, don't even care about the state of affairs in there. Hey, you bench press? What you usually warm up with? 10s of 15-pound dumbbells. Oh, wow. Do you use resistance bands when you're driving down the street? I mean, not so much to work out, but just to stabilize your driving so you can stay in the lane. Do you use that sometime? Because you said you see colors and you see speed in cars. Did you think about just wearing some polarized shades to pretty much, get you to more focus on the colors that's in front of you of the vehicles? I was just asking, if it's, what gas do you use? Oh, you drive electric? Oh, you can get an electric and gas car, so you won't have to charge it up. And then what that does is save you time if you're heading to the gym because you're the best. You're the best. Yes. I'm glad he let me in the gym so I can just ask the dumbest questions ever. I love it. Hey, who he should fight and who he's gonna fight falls in line with the business of boxing. Yes, Tim Tszyu had his moment. He will get another chance. I like Tim Tszyu. But what does it do right now for the big money fight if Bud has Turk Ali Sheik behind him? Tim Tszyu don't have Turk Ali Sheik behind him like that. And what you said, it's not far off the scales. It's not. Why wouldn't we want to see a rematch between Fundora and Tszyu? But right now, Crawford has a mission. And that mission is to unify the 154-pound division. Now, it's a lot of names that can happen. I heard, they still going to mention Boots now. They still going to mention Boots. And I don't have nothing to say about that. If Boots comes into the equation and he is, he comes into the fray and he picks up a belt, I'm not mad at that. If it's going to be Crawford versus whoever, I don't care. All I want to see it play out. I want to see some good boxing. I'm very, very happy, excited that Turk Ali Sheik has the funds. Him and his people has the funds to make these big fights. And we don't have to worry about Crawford, Madrimov is going to purse bid. Crawford, Madrimov. My sources told me it's going to be 70-30. That's my sources told me. No. It's going to be 45-60. Oh, that what your sources told? Yeah. But nah, both of y'all wrong. My sources told me it's going to be 80% Madrimov. And Crawford, they're going to give him whatever he want. Why is that? Man, Madrimov, man, he's the champion, dog. Crawford ain't fought nobody, man, except Spence. He got one person on his record, dog. Man, I don't even want to go through that. I don't want to go through that. I knew Spence and Fundora wasn't happening. Yes, but certain things that's not going to happen. You can't just continue to flood the chats with negative reactions because people get butthurt. You know what I'm saying? Their mods start to try to block you and time you out, all because you're not on the Errol Spence bandwagon. Where are all the bandwagon riders now? What happened? They never came back and picked y'all up? I mean, come on, man. Where are y'all at? You trying to tell me Crawford actually did retire Errol Spence? For real? Crawford actually retired the big fish? I thought he jumped into the ring with Sebastian Fundora and took his shine away and told my now it's time for the big dog. What happened? What had happened, man? What did all that go? That time for the big dog. I'm gonna chop him down. No. 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 Shout out to my guy Christopher White in the building. $10 super chat lighting up the tree of life for WCS. I appreciate you. As always, one love to you, brother. He said, keep cooking, my brother, man. I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for supporting the channel always. You know what it is. Appreciate you pulling up. Those of you that's in attendance, salute to you pulling up. You know, it's late. I'm not going real hard. I'm not cooking them in the hot grease because I'm gonna save some of this grease, you know, because the 1 year anniversary is on the horizon, y'all. Yep, I can smell them. You know, cook them eggs, put that in the eggs, prep that batter. Yep. I do feel kind of bad because there's some fishers out there that's losing some relatives. You know what I'm saying? There's some fishers out there that's losing some relatives, man. And they mad as shit. They mad. They said, God damn it. Why does it have to be a 1 year anniversary? We lost JJ. You know what I'm saying? Hair paint. You know what I'm saying? Nah. Poop. We lost all of them last year when they went in there and to the T-Mobile Arena. Man, it was so much. God damn. Now we got another one. And yeah, we have to. We have to commemorate the 1 year anniversary. We have to, y'all. It's absolutely essentially mandatory. We have to. Who would we be if we didn't commemorate that? Cooking with Surf Singing in the building. What's good with Surf Singing? They said in 5 days I'm gonna be like, do you know what today is? It's a fish fry anniversary for you and me. For real. You know what I'm saying? For real. We have to remember that was the day that Bud Crawford retired Errol Spence, bro. Crushed an entire audience who claimed to be supporters, but they can't get this man a trainer. They can't find a place for him to lock in. It's no one out of all these people that was willing to run smear campaigns. Huh? Where are you at now? Wasn't you one of those guys, Fanon, that was over there running a smear campaign on Bud? Where are you at now? You wasted all that time out your life. I told y'all, you wasted all that time out your life to run a freaking smear campaign on Bud. And he's still winning with 3 ends. He's still winning, bro. You ran a smear campaign on that man every freaking week, lying on him. What are you doing now? You wasted all that freaking time for nothing. You didn't stop nothing. You didn't stop the motion at all. If Boots forces his way into the division, the situation great. Other than that, I'm sick of Boots Crawford talk. He got to force his way into the division. Shout out to Andrew Charles on deck, man. Salute to you. If he's the one that's gonna step up sooner or later or whatever and get a belt, I'm all for it. I'm not a Jerron Booth and his hater. Never have been. But I just love how the process is working out for the fighter who has been doing everything the right way. You know, truth be told, man, what's in the darkness come to the light. It's almost like Crawford's being blessed for doing what's right. All that time when he was out the media, wasn't out here, you know, being stupid, you know, just going in there performing to the best of his ability. It's almost like, you know, God has basically put a halo over his head with these fights. Just think about it. Every time it seems like somebody believes that, you know, criticism is the best way to stop Crawford's process, it doesn't work. Then all this blocking. Oh, so-and-so came out. Oh, they blocked him. Haha, that didn't work. Then Charlo comes out. Oh, he's champion recess. That didn't work. Then, you know, Samson goes on a freaking smear campaign to my, oh, Crawford's this, that, and the other. That didn't work. It's just over and over again, people want to take sides with Errol Spence, but yet none of them could get him into the gym at a different location to get him ready for that. So I mean, y'all wasn't shit to begin with. Y'all were just along for the ride. And you got your subscribers, you got your freaking super chats off the name of Terrence Crawford. And now you have to watch this man go over there and compete for unification in his 4th division. Dumb. What matches do we really want to see Spence in? I can't think of one. I'm not lying. To see Spence, he got to. Well, you know, it was the crazy part when I heard the boxing voice. Shout out to TBV. Somebody has said that Spence should go ahead and fight Ryan Garcia in Texas and make some money. And see, and though people frown on that fight, both of these guys don't have a belt. And believe it or not, people will watch that fight because Spence is in a bad situation right now, but there is some appraising value that keeps him a little bit on the green side. What I'm saying is that if Andrew's asking what matchup, there's plenty of other people that's asking what matchup. So therefore, they got people here willing to see Crawford step in there and fight somebody of notoriety. Ryan Garcia is that guy. He's coming off controversy, coming off suspension. Errol Spence is coming off controversy and his not a suspension, his first loss. Both of them have their own backstories that will blend in quite well to build up on a fight. So if he's talking about fighting a fighter that can get him a ticket, Ryan Garcia still may be able to do that because it seems like, you know, the outcry was supposed to be about everything else, but people steadily trying to make friends. And he hasn't even got the 6 months into his freaking suspension. He hasn't even got 6 months into his suspension yet. So Errol Spence fighting Ryan Garcia. I don't know what weight Ryan Garcia gonna fight at. Because, you know, people up here saying, you know, Spence is freaking 200 pounds. I'm tired of guessing, bro. I told them they should fight at 160. When nothing was going on, I said, shit. Spence shouldn't fight at 154, fight at 160, bro. Fight at 160, period. Spence Ryan would be a wild matchup. That's not a bad one. Yeah, man. You know, Ryan has been known, you know, to be popular and bring the social media with him and everything else. Plus, you know, there's eager fight fans willing to see Spence step back in the ring. What if you talked about this several months ago, you know, in the back? People would have laughed. They would have said, oh, man, come on, stop it. Man, Spence will freaking fuck Ryan up. Plus, Ryan, man, he's at 135. He's at 140. Man, stop. Now, they're like, that's not too far-fetched. Okay. And then they said Keith Thurman. You know, I don't dislike Keith Thurman, but every time you put your energy into Keith Thurman coming back, it doesn't happen. I'd rather say Ryan Garcia. I'd rather say Ryan Garcia, bro. At least you know it's gonna be some trash talking. It's gonna be this, that, and the other controversy. You know, Ryan Garcia has improved his trash talking skills. Spence gonna say, "Are you off the juice?" And then he gonna turn to Spence and say, "You should have been on the juice." He gonna turn to Spence. He say, "The way you looked at that with Crawford, you should have been on the juice." Hey man, it's gonna get bad, man. Hey, Ryan's improved his trash talking, bro. Real talk. He has. He's improved it. But at the end of the day, man, y'all hold it down. Shout out to the hottest chat in the MFing game. You know what I'm saying? And remember, July 29th, 2024 is the 1 year commemoration of the T-Mobile massacre. If you haven't did so, if you still need to, make sure you have that money just to get you a nice fish dinner. You know, mix it up and put some shrimp in there. I know he said it was a big fish, but we all know that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? It sounds good, but that's not the case. You know, get you some whiting, some flounder, some perch. You know, if you affluent, if your annual salary you live in affluent, you might want to get some red snapper. You know, whatever you can afford. Shrimp, calamari, fries, coleslaw, beans, whatever. So we can commemorate. We can acknowledge. We can go about celebrating. Having a cheveau. A cheveau. Yes, it may possibly be alcoholic beverages on deck. You know, just letting you know. Just letting you know. It may be alcoholic beverages on deck. You know what I'm saying? But y'all hold it down, man. Salute to the hottest chat in the MFN gang. Continue to support. I'm out. Peace.